My name is Richard. I'm here to present from SLAM to MSMRD. For those who are unfamiliar with the term SLAM, it's not just slamming as in injection. That could be it. But we frame it, it's an acronym actually for Sex, Love, Asian Men. So for the next 12 minutes, the session objective is practice to inform community-based participatory research and CBPR to program policies. So when I was doing this slides, I was digging my archives for SLAM, and yes, we have had 5 SLAMs up to date. First one is actually 2009, held in at Ryerson Oakham House. So that's a small one, attended by 30 people. But the next year was a big one. We received CIHR meeting grant for 15,000. It's actually held in this room. James, you were here. Barry, was here. Yes, so some of you were here. So next, please. So those are the promotional materials that we used. We had enough budget to actually translate it to different languages for the poster, Chinese, simplified Chinese, and traditional Chinese. We did 9 concurrent workshops, which includes HIV 101, Trans 101, healthy relationships, harm reduction, sexual racism, a subject that never goes away, and mindfulness too. Attended by 75 Asian MSM, and what came out of it, please, next, is the SLAM research think tank. So that was immediately followed. SLAM was in May, and the think tank was in August, and attended by different shareholders, including community-based researchers, academia, founders, and community members. Again, it's similar. We divided groups into 4 different identified key themes that emerged from the SLAM workshops. The research, what came out of that research think tank was 2 research priorities: qualitative research study on the resiliency achieving pathways adopted by Asian MSM, and the second one, a qualitative research study examining the access patterns of Asian MSM from different demographics in obtaining sexual health information and other social supports. So what followed after the think tank, I guess we followed through our think tank's research priority. We've received funding from CIHR, ranked number 1, and those 2 objectives actually covered in this community-based research, which we call Asian MSM Pathways to Resiliency. And we also wanted to tease all these questions that we came up. We wanted to tease the resiliency strategies from Asian MSM. So we posed these 3 questions. What are the critical life events that impact the sexual health of Asian MSM? What affects resiliency responses to these life events challenges? And how can we change our practices and policies to improve the sexual health of Asian and other racialized MSMs? Check out the logo. It's Lotus. But I guess, can you go back for a second? Yeah. But I guess what I wanted also to mention when we're exploring sexual health, it's not just specifically talking about sexual health. That holistic health impacts that sexual health. Sexual health is just one component. When we talked about intersectionality earlier on, it all just kind of a messy interaction with all these other factors that surround our lives, if that makes sense. At the end of that research, we came up with this model for understanding resilience, so underlying issues and we came up with prohibiting factors and conditions. What helped solve that underlying issues, and what are the strategies, responses, including our actions, specific actions. We've completed the research and we came up with this community-based research study. Pretty color. Apparently it's called Aubergine. So if you want a copy of this, it's actually on our website. And it's got pretty, okay, posters in the back, yeah, sorry. Right, so moving on. So 2015 till now. This is sort of like what came up after this AMP2R. It's like the spin-off, and we want to talk about intervention program. So I guess our co-PIs, the PIs, Alan's, and the other research teams came up with this project following the AMP2R to promote resilience through dialogue, critical reflections, value clarification, and experiential learning. We coined it Asian MSM Resiliency Dialogues. And that is still in the trial stage. We just finished a trial with 10 participants, although those participants are strongly affiliated with ACAS, and that gives us a sense of how we can apply this to our programming policy. So finally, the study expected to generate new knowledge on effective strength-based intervention to promote resiliency and address HIV vulnerability among racialized MSM, strengthen cross-cultural research partnerships, and inform policies and practices. Okay, that's it. And that's one of the posters that we presented in Melbourne. Any question?